It has officially been the longest amount of time in between sessions for me since I started skating. Besides my first month. I believe I took a bigger break in my first month, right when I started. But since then, I've been pretty addicted to rollerblading. My last session was about 8 or 9 days ago, which is a very long time for me. I was starting to feel sick during that session a little bit, but it stuck around. I didn't get super sick, but I had one of those lingering colds that just wouldn't go away. And started to feel better yesterday. Today, I feel a lot better. So we're back on the Dems. The only thing different about my Dems is I rockered the cuff downwards. So the cuff is very low right now, super low. So we'll see what that feels like. It already felt very flexible with the cuff all the way up. So I have a little bit of a worry that this might be too low and too floppy for me. But for certain tricks, that'll feel very nice. And I can always just tie everything up nice and tight and do up the cuff tight because it's got plenty of side-by-side flex. With that being said, let's lace these things up and get after it. All right, got my legs warm, did some skating around, cleared out the path, waxed up the PVC, scraped out some old wax that was slowing it down in certain places. Let's go. Nice little sole grind to get it started. I didn't commit at all. All right, let's go. That took more attempts than I would like, but I basically just brute forced it with speed. I'm gonna focus up on 3 more attempts so I can get a nice controlled one sitting on top of the rail, and then we'll move on to other tricks. And we'll talk about the fit, because it is feeling different. I know I said 3 more, but we're gonna do 3 more. There we go, let me clean it up. All right, so with my cuff on the down position, I definitely need to run them tighter, which I'm not sure if I like, because I'm getting so much side to side flex that unless I squeeze down my cuff, it's a little bit too wobbly, which I didn't feel with the cuff up higher. I could leave the buckle a little bit loose and I could just rely on my liner cuff keeping me in place. But I noticed a little bit more looseness around that area. While I was sick, my feet also started hurting. I don't know if it was just a bunch of little injuries that I never gave time to heal, but my feet started to hurt a little bit more. But it's all right. I can feel it in my left foot, but it's not like super painful or anything. It just kind of feels like wear and tear. All right, let me take this sweater off so I don't overheat. But taking 8-9 days off definitely makes me feel like I've taken this many days off. Just don't have the same level of confidence. With that being said, let's get the confidence back. Let's run acid grind, Mizu, P-Star, switch top acid, back Royale, or front Royale. We gotta learn back Royale. That'll come on a flat ledge in the near future. And I know I had plans to start skating transition, but then I got sick and I didn't feel like it, and now it's cold all the time and dark early, and I got unmotivated, and when I'm not skating a lot, I want to start learning new things. I just want to work on the other stuff that I might lose. Starting to understand how people struggle with making progress when they aren't skating 4 or 5 times a week like I was for so long. It's a luxury to be able to do that. Just like motivation wise, it was not hard for me to convince myself to go skate every day because I was just so obsessed with getting better. Now, if the weather's a little off, or I'm feeling a little shitty, if there's a good enough excuse, sometimes I'll take it. But that's why I forced myself outside today in this kind of shitty weather, because it's not getting much better. It's gonna get colder, but the sun will be out. It's a little bit of a trade-off. With that being said, why am I yapping so much? Acid grind. Maybe I go back Unity before my other soles. Another thing I'm struggling with is my standards raising. A year ago, I would be happy with that. A nice 15-foot acid grind. Now that makes me feel nothing. I need to get it nicer, smoother, on top. I keep leaning my body away. That's better. That's the one I'm looking for. Clearly I need some wax. What a difference a little wax makes. I'm not sure why I just did that trick, but it felt good. Okay, it's time to do back farv, P-star, and then we'll take it from there. But so far, I think I might go back to these cuffs being rockered up. We'll have to see what the footage looks like, but it's been so long since I've skated that obviously my tricks are gonna look worse. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm going for the triple switch up. Back farv, to sole, to back unity. I'm gonna give myself 3 more real attempts and then we'll move on and we'll go to the triple switch ups later. Here it is. All right, we gotta move on. Nice little switch top acid. See how much easier that is for me in raised heel boots? On stuff that's flat, for some reason I have a more difficult time getting topside. I think it's just the foot positioning thing. I will say though, man, I love the way these feel. At first I had no issues with the pink skates, but I'm not gonna lie, I wanna buy a different color. I just wanna make sure that the other color I get is just as flexible because these feel awesome. All right, 3 more tries at a nice switch top acid, even though we already got one. And then we'll do some easier switch ups and probably call it there. First time back in over a week, taking it easy today. That one felt good. All right, let's sink a nice P-star. It's getting sticky fast today. So with the cuffs down, these are some real floppy boys. That's for sure. I kind of like it though. Let's run some switch ups. 3 more tries. I'm taking that last one before this. That was good. I know I said I was going to keep it easy today, but I want to give 3 tries at back unity to sole to back unity. Come on. I know I got this. I'm gonna wax it up one more time and then give myself 3 more attempts. I feel like I'm just slowing down in the sole grind. I need 3 more. Three more attempts. I swear to God, on everything I love. 3 more attempts. Come on. What the hell? I earned another one. Nope. Triple switch ups aren't happening today. That's okay. All right, sole to back farp. That counts, but let's clean it up. I want to end on a good one, so I'm going to get back unity to back torque, and that's it. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's talk about the fit. Okay, first things first, the cuff. Having the cuff rocker down like this makes me understand why a lot of the 909s apparently have a harder plastic, because when the cuff is this low, it doesn't really matter. This cuff lowness kind of feels like my GAWDs. Very, very low. Almost like I'm wearing shoes. I am using the Intuition Premium liners, so I just cinch those up nice and tight and I get all the support that I want. But I noticed that even when I tightened my buckle a lot, it didn't make that much of a difference for side-by-side flex, just because my ankle is like flexing over the top of it. I feel significantly less supportive, but a lot more like the standard Omni and the Plastiks factions and the GAWDs, where I like a very easy to flex side-by-side and not so easy to flex forward. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this. Since the cuff is lower, there's a little bit more material stopping it from flexing forward. That was my big issue when I had the cuff up higher, was I felt like it would flop over too much. But with this lower, that completely fixes it, and it frees up some side-by-side flex so I can run my cuff tighter. We're gonna have to skate a lot more stuff with this cuff setting, but it's definitely staying. In terms of the session today, I know I didn't do all of my tricks, but considering this is the longest I've taken off since I started skating a lot, I'm pretty happy with myself, to be honest. I expected a lot more trouble to get everything. And not gonna lie, in the beginning, when I was struggling to get a nice sole grind, I was getting a little nervous that this was gonna be awful and I was about to lose everything that I've learned over the last 6 months. But it's fine. We didn't lose anything. Just a little rusty at the start, but not a big deal at all. I've been getting a lot of Facebook memories from my sessions from a year ago, and it's honestly making me feel a lot better. I was having some of my worst sessions around this time 1 year ago. So it might just be like a seasonal depression type of thing. Because whenever the season changes from fall to winter around here in the Northeast, the vibes are underground. They disappear. It starts getting dark at like 4 o'clock. It's just bad vibes. So that on top of being sick and skating less, I haven't been feeling it too much lately, but we're getting back into the swing of things. Hopefully learning to skate transition soon. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think this is my boot. I think the small Them with the Intuition Premium liner, with no cuff wrap, and the Kizer Fluid fall frames is for me. Also, an update on my Plastiks wheels. Oh my God. They do wear a little bit every session, and I've been rotating them every session. But this is by far the least amount of wear I've ever had on a set of wheels. Genuinely shocking. I haven't had that many sessions with them yet, but usually it only takes 2 or 3 sessions till they're looking way worse than this. These basically look like a fresh set of 58mm wheels that I've skated once, but they are 60mm wheels, so they have worn down quite a bit. They definitely look smaller, but I'm happy with them. I'm probably going to continue to buy Plastiks wheels until they let me down. I also purchased the standard Omni V2s in a size small to see how those feel. And I have a size 8 GAWDs. I know I had a size 10 GAWDs before, but those were way too big. They were like huge blocks on my feet. And the size 8 GAWDs might be too small. Probably should have got the 9, but whatever. I will see you guys next time. Peace.